Board of Trustees meeting for Monday, June 15th. As we call to order, I make the announcement that public comment forms must be submitted prior to the beginning of the public comment period. Now I ask that you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item 3 is the roll call, starting to my left.
Trustee Matt Hayes.
Trustee Paul Tata. Trustee Joel Stewart.
Village President Jeremy Walls.
Trustee Katie Kress.
Trustee Sean Cook.
Trustee Matt Lasowski.
Deputy Village Clerk Jack Busher.
Village Manager Mark Fitzgerald.
Village Attorney Adam Koenings.
Item 4 is our reports and presentations. We have one tonight. It's a presentation of e-bike safety, state laws, and village ordinances by Police Chief Mark Waters. Welcome, Chief Waters.
Thank you. Thank you for having me tonight and the opportunity to explain some of the laws and the ordinances pertaining to e-bikes and some of the concerns that the police department and many citizens have with regards to e-bikes. They're coming much more common, and I think there's misinformation out there about what's lawful and unlawful with regards to e-bikes. A couple of terms and definitions. An e-bike, when we see them out there, is not everything out there that has a motor with reference to two wheels. So an e-bike is equipped with an electric motor that provides assistance only when the rider's pedaling, or in limited cases via low-speed throttle. And it has to meet very specific speed and power limits, so it's classified as an e-bike. And you'll see later that e-bikes, when they're classified, those are the ones that are lawful, versus the e-moto or different names for other devices, which is a motor-driven electric 2- or 3-wheeled vehicle that may resemble a bicycle, but does not meet the legal definition of an electric bicycle because it exceeds established limits for speed, power, or method of operation. And this distinction is significant, as we'll see in a little bit. So other terms and definition, watts are the unit of power that is key to identifying what's lawful as an e-bike and what's not lawful as an e-bike. Pedal assist is a system in which the electric motor provides power only when the rider is actively pedaling. And then a throttle is either a twist or a thumb grip that allows the electric motor to deliver power on demand without the rider pedaling. So Wisconsin law breaks down e-bikes, electric bicycle. Adam, can you take care of that? Into 3 classes. And in order for a bicycle to be classified as an e-bike, what's very important is the maximum amount of electric power can only be 750 watts. And then it's broken down into 3 different classes. A Class 1 electric bicycle is equipped with a motor, provides assistance only when the rider is pedaling, and ceases to provide assistance when the bicycle reaches 20 miles per hour. A Class 2 electric bicycle is an electric bicycle that may be powered solely by motor and is not capable of providing assistance when the bicycle reaches 20 miles per hour as well. And then you have the Class 3 electric bicycle. It's an electric bicycle equipped with a motor that provides assistance only when the rider is pedaling and ceases to provide assistance when the bicycle reaches a speed of 28 miles per hour. What's most significant with regards to these 3 classifications is the Class 3 electric bicycle may only be operated lawfully by someone age 16 and older. And then in Wisconsin law, it also defines an electric personal assistance mobility device. And that's a definition up there, 2 non-tandem wheeled device that's designed to transport only one person, that has an electric propulsion system that limits the maximum speed of the device to 15 miles an hour or less. Those are not e-bikes. And then you have electric scooters. That's a device less than 100 pounds that has handlebars and electric motors, powered solely by an electric motor and human power, and has a maximum speed not more than 20 miles per hour on a paved surface. Electric scooter does not include an electric personal assistive mobility device, motorcycle, motor bicycle, an e-bike, or a moped. So the laws pertaining to these is that no person can operate a bicycle, motor bicycle, personal delivery device, electric scooter, electric personal assistance mobility device upon a highway, sidewalk, bicycle lane, or bicycle way during hours of darkness. So these are things that need to occur if you're going to operate these things in darkness. The operator needs to be wearing a lamp-emitting white light visible from a distance of at least 500 feet to the front. Has to be equipped with a red reflector that has a diameter of at least 2 inches of surface area with respect to an electric scooter or electric personal assistive mobility device. That is a strip of reflective tape that has at least 2 square inches of surface area on the rear, so mounted and maintained to be visible from all distances from 50 to 500 feet to the rear when directly in front of lawful upper beams of headlamps on a motor vehicle. So what you're looking at is it needs to have a headlight out front, and it needs to have to the rear that reflective devices as described there. It also needs a lamp emitting a steadier red flashing light from the rear as well. So we need these devices that are lawfully operated to have lights front and rear and a reflective strip on the back as well. Other laws pertaining to these: no bicycle may be used to carry or transport more persons at one time than the number for which it's designed. So when you see multiple people on a device, if it's not designed for multiple people, it should only be operated by the operator. Important, going back to the 750 watt maximum, manufacturers of e-bikes must permanently affix labels indicating class, wattage, and speed on these devices. And any device without fully operational pedals is not an e-bike. So there's a chart up there that gives you a little breakdown of what we just talked about, the differences of these electronic dirt bikes or e-moto bikes, class 1 bikes, as we described, the class 2 bikes and the class 3 bikes. So before I got to that, so the e-moto and electric bike operation, you can find these all over the place. The next slide will have just a quick snapshot of one I found on Amazon real quick. But these devices have greater than 750 watts of power. Some of them go very, very high and very fast. They can achieve speeds greater than 28 miles an hour. They lack fully operational pedals and are designed to circumvent class limits as described previously. These are not legal e-bikes and may be considered motor vehicles, which would then require registrations, license, insurance, and prohibited on bike infrastructure. So these devices are unlawful to operate on all public highways, streets, sidewalks, bicycle ways, parks, parkways, unless they're properly registered as a motorcycle or a moped. An operation of these unlawful devices may result in uniform traffic citations issued by police officers for a myriad of violations, unregistered vehicle, operator license violations, insurance requirements, and equipment violations. So a quick check on Amazon just popped up that, there's a 2,600 watt, 40 mile per hour electric motorcycle that can be bought for $1,200. I've looked online, I found them that go up to 60 and 70 miles an hour. So they're out there and they're prevalent. And I think a lot of people don't understand the laws and the dangerousness of these devices when they're out there. Our greatest concerns are not only for the operators, but then those of us that are operating motor vehicles on the roadway, and these individuals operating not only unlawful devices on the roadways, but they're also not abiding by the laws on the roadways which pertaining to all vehicles. So some of our village ordinances address some of these things. One of the major things that we get calls on is riding on the sidewalk. So our current ordinances for riding on a sidewalk is no person 13 or more years of age shall ride a bicycle upon any sidewalk. This includes e-bikes and all bicycles, except when the sidewalk's designated as a bicycle way. And I have a map later about bicycle ways here in the village. And again, regardless if it's an e-bike or a bicycle, whenever a person's operating a bicycle on any sidewalk, bikeway, the person shall yield the right of way to any pedestrian and should give an audible signal before overtaking and passing a pedestrian. And operating rules, operating a bicycle, you need to abide by the laws of right-of-way, rules of the roadway and such. And one of our concerns are some of the individuals that are very young don't even know the laws of the roadway, don't know the rules of the roadway, and now they're operating bicycles, e-bikes, and potentially those e-moto bikes, and operating at speeds that just are not safe. And that's one of our greatest concerns at the police department is the safety of the individual riders and the safety of the other motorists and pedestrians out there on the roadways. Parents have a responsibility. No parent or guardian of any child shall authorize a permit, and this is our ordinance, to permit such child to violate any of the provisions of this article. And there's forfeitures that can be handed down to the parents that allow this. So all self-propelled devices are also prohibited on village property to our current ordinances now. The police department is working with the village attorney to look at some of these because the outright ban on village property probably needs to be looked at with reference to lawful e-bikes and potential scooters. So we're looking at that as well. But one of the greatest concerns, like I said, for the police department is the unlawful devices that are out there, and then the young people that don't even understand the rules of the roadway and such. So I talked about your unlawful operation on sidewalks, our current ordinance. However, on bicycle ways, you can operate. And a lot of times, citizens are confused on what's a sidewalk versus what's a recreational trail and what's a lawful bicycle way. So again, if you're 13 or older, you need to be riding on the streets, except for these designated bicycle ways that are designated in the map that's also available online at the village website. Some of the bicycle ways that are common are the Bugline Trail, the Oakleaf Trail System, the Menomonee River Parkway Trail, and then multi-use trails that are located along some of the transportation corridors of Silver Spring, Pilgrim, Lily, Good Hope, and Fond du Lac Avenue. Those are the trails that sort of look like sidewalks, but they're actually bicycle ways and they can be operated there. But other than those locations, if you're 13 or older, you need to be on the streets. So our officers are going to be educated on this as well, and our officers are going to be out there when time permits and addressing concerns of the citizens, and when they observe individuals that potentially are riding unlawful devices or breaking rules of the roadway. And hopefully we'll educate them, and if we find that there's repeat offenders, we may have to take enforcement action. And if we have systemic problems, then we have the parental responsibility as well. So our number one concern is the safety of the kids, safety of the pedestrians, and safety of the motorists along the highway. It would be extremely unfortunate, and we've already had a few of the e-bike crashes, but it's unfortunate for the individual who gets hurt on the e-bike. It's unfortunate for the individual who's involved in a motor vehicle crash as an operator. Even if, regardless of who's at fault and who's in the wrong, it's horrible to be in one of those situations. And we'd like to prevent that through both education, warnings, compliance, and unfortunately, if it has to get to that, enforcement through citations. So thank you for the opportunity for letting me tell you about this. This is not a situation limited to Menomonee Falls. This is a statewide issue. Every community that when I was preparing for this is addressing this very same issue, and they are concerned about the same issues that we talked about here tonight. So subject to your questions or comments, that's what I have for you tonight.
Very good. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Have you had any enforcement actions to date as far as, I guess pulling kids over, for lack of a better way to describe it?
No. We haven't taken any enforcement action on kids, right? This is the first avenue of explaining it to you, having it out there on the public. We'll put this out on our social media. And I actually have to work on making sure that our officers are well versed on this. This is very new and technical information with regards to e-bikes and moto-bikes and some of those different things. But we will take a concerted effort to get out there and educate and potentially enforce the law.
Are you going to have some sort of handout or pamphlet when you're providing this education to kids?
That's a great suggestion. That one slide back there is a copy of a handout that I stole from another agency that we could get into production.
Mark or Adam, are we thinking, are there other municipalities that have additional laws or ordinances that we do not have that we're considering adding at this point?
Adam's office did some basic review, and he found a wide range, but he can talk on that briefly.
Yeah, communities are reacting fairly strongly to this situation. Our approach was, let's grab the low-hanging fruit, which is the most problematic behavior, which is these vehicles that are not e-bikes that are operating in the right-of-way by people potentially without driver's licenses. And but we certainly, my understanding of the actual true e-bikes is that they, for all intents and purposes, they operate as if they're a bike. That's why state law grants them all the rights and privileges of bicycles. We do have some cleanup in our ordinances to do, and some policy decisions that would have to be made with regards to, for example, riding scooters and e-bikes in parks. We cannot do anything with regards to e-bikes in the roadway. That's state law. But obviously most of what I think we're seeing in the community is not e-bikes in the road. It's other stuff, and that's the point that we're trying to make here tonight. But yes, there are new types of electric mobility vehicles being, I've seen skateboards, rollerblades, and so how we want to treat those within our parks, I think, is a question that we'll have to confront, but that's not really the priority currently at this point, and we're kind of seeing where this goes and where we have problems and where the community seems to demand action. And safety obviously is the number one concern. But there is some cleanup certainly that we will have to do in our ordinances just to incorporate e-bikes and make our ordinances more fluid with state statute at a minimum.
So that class 1 and 2 are legal for children under 16 to operate?
Correct.
But class 3 you need to be must be greater than 16.
Correct.
And where do we have the most problems? I've seen a lot of posts online, but where are these concentrated? Is there a concentration?
In the uptown area, and probably as you can imagine, north of Good Hope, along Appleton Avenue and along Main Street.
And besides the one e-bike and vehicle accident that at least I know of one, has there been several others, or are we been kind of lucky with just having that one so far?
We had the one with the e-bike, and we had one with a motorized skateboard, but that was about a year ago.
Do we know or have you witnessed the motorbikes being used in town?
I have not personally seen them, but I've heard second and third hand that they are out there.
Okay. Are we going to post something online as far as maybe in the different avenues we have on our website and also in the Current and whatnot?
It's not going to be in the Current, but after tonight's presentation, the police department will put it on their social media, and then we're going to news flash it, put it on the village social media, and probably work it into the weekly newsletter. So we'll get it out there, and that'll happen pretty much immediately.
The state law requires helmets on all these when you're operating these bikes?
No,
No, there's no state law for helmets.
I'm unaware of any, Adam.
No, there's not. Some communities have, that's been a component of their ordinances, is a helmet requirement.
Is there helmet laws for motorcycles? Because wouldn't the motorbikes be considered motorcycles?
Well, the motorbikes, if they would be properly registered and equipped to be a motorcycle, they would be a motorcycle. But many of your motorbikes would not be properly equipped to be registered as a motorcycle, so they fall between the cracks.
So they don't have the lights and all that stuff to actually operate?
To be registered as a lawful machine. And then most of your operators are going to be younger than, a lot of your operators are going to be younger than 16 and not licensed to drive a motorcycle as well.
Yeah, I would say most are. In my neighborhood, it's a very big issue, so I thank you for bringing this up for sure. Do you have a time frame on when you think you guys will start pulling these kids over and educating them? And
well, you have to be very cognizant of the strain on resources. We will be out there as often as we can to address this issue. To say that we have other things going on is an understatement. And as prioritization happens, we will be out there when we observe these or when we get called upon them. We will definitely be there. But to say that it's our number one focus would be a stretch.
okay.
Could you add an update to the quarterly reports as far as, citations for this, how the outreach is going, ongoing?
Yes.
Just some information so that as we get emails from people, we can send information out. Be great.
Very good.
Very informative. Thank you.
Well, I was wondering, can we do anything with our digital signs? We have a couple locations of some sort of information, or I'm not sure if that's the right use for it.
I think that would be challenging to put out such a message on a digital sign.
Yeah. We could maybe do it as a spot when we know there's going to be an enforcement action or something, but honestly, we don't have many characters and probably not the right means, but we'll give that some thought.
That's good. Any other questions or comments? Well, great presentation, a lot of good information.
Thank you.
Did you have something else, Kate?
I was just going to say, so for right now too, because I get calls from residents right now about it. So it's just us sharing the information out too. Basically just let them know if they know of kids or if they know of families that use these, that they're going to have to.
And you have to
need to
remember,
educate the children too here.
e-bikes are lawful when they fit the classifications. So when they see e-bikes and they see a number of people out there enjoying their e-bikes, it doesn't mean they're illegal. Only some of them are.
Thank you, Trustee Kress.
Yeah, the key information is the 750 watts and then operative pedals. If it's over 750 watts or it doesn't have operative pedals, it's not allowed on the roadway.
Chief, what about reckless driving, maybe in and out of traffic or standing on the seat while driving, anything like that we can enforce?
If there's applicable statutes that would apply to a operator of a vehicle, we could enforce that, yes.
Some of the ordinances that I've seen do incorporate essentially a reckless bicycle operation. We have reckless driving under state statute, but that's somewhat of a higher burden.
I would say that's a high bar.
Right.
All right, any other questions or comments? All right, very good presentation.
Thank
Lots
you.
of good information. Thank you, Chief Waters. Thank you. Very good. Move on to item 5, which is our consent agenda. Jack.
I have a bill approval for May 2026 in the amount of $5,606,111.83. I have 2026-2027 license renewals for Class A combination fermented malt beverage and liquor. Renewals subject to building inspection, health inspection, fire inspection, planning department, and police department approvals per list attached. 2026-2027 renewals for unenclosed premises permits subject to planning and police department approval per list attached. And an application for unenclosed premise permit for Menomonee Falls Historical Society, a use of Old Falls Village Historical Park and museums for events held by the Historical Society for the licensing period of June 30th, 2026 from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. No planning concerns. Police comments were no alcohol in parking lots. Application for unenclosed premise permit for Menomonee Falls Downtown, Inc., doing business as Menomonee Falls Events, Falls Movie Night Village Park, special event area, Optimist Way, for the licensing period on July 16th, 2026 from 5 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. No police or planning concerns. An application for unenclosed premise permit for Menomonee Falls Downtown, Inc., doing business as Menomonee Falls Events, Lavender Fest Village Park, Optimist Way, and Northeast Parking Lot for the licensing period on July 18th, 2026 from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. No police or planning concerns. And an application for unenclosed premise permit for Friends of Old Falls Village Park for Old Falls World War II Days. A Dank German Club picnic will be held at Old Falls Village Park and defined by the map description. The picnic will concentrate around the pavilion and the beer trailer located by the barn for the licensing period of June 28th, 2026 from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. No police or planning concerns.
All right, thank you, Jack. Trustee Stewart.
Move to approve the consent agenda items as listed.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Consent agenda is passed unanimously. On to item 6, which is a public comment. Village Board of Trustees will hold a public comment period for the purpose of allowing the non-elected general public the opportunity to address the board regarding any matter that involves the village government or matters over which the Board of Trustees has authority to take action and that is not the topic of a current or previous public hearing before the village board. Campaigning for elected office shall not be allowed during the public comment period. Public comment is limited to persons who submit the public comment form prior to the beginning of the public comment period and have been called to the podium by the village president. When called by the village president, each person may speak from the podium for a maximum of 3 minutes. The board will only receive comments during public comment period, and trustees shall not respond to or debate matters raised during the public comment period. Personal attacks are prohibited, and comments shall be directed to the entire board. Clapping, booing, profanity, obscenity, and other disorderly behaviors are also prohibited. I have received 2 forms to speak at public comment. The first would be Renee.
Who's going to be following her?
Oh,
that's how we
that's
kind of
fine.
have it.
I can switch it up if you'd like.
Okay, would you mind?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Sarah. Okay. We would love to have you start.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Sarah Lewis. I live on the corner of Cherokee Drive and Bridgeview Drive in Menomonee Falls, along with my husband and our 6-year-old daughter. We live, work, play, and go to school in this community. We've been a part of this community for 15 years. I'm also a part of the group from the Arrowhead Range neighborhood that was present during last month's board meeting to hopefully gain some answers as to why my house and our neighbors' houses have flooded with sewage 2 times within 8 months. I'm here to represent not just my home and family, but our neighbors as well. I think it's safe to say that we came away from the meeting on May 18th feeling a bit defeated and without answers or the confidence that something is going to be done to help us prevent our homes from flooding again in the future. It was disheartening that we attended the meeting to protect our homes and hopefully have a conversation with the people and powers that could potentially help us, and we felt that we were silenced. Some takeaways from the May 18th meeting when Tom, the Director of Public Works, gave his PowerPoint presentation to the Village Board of Trustees that have stood out to us are, it was indicated that when laterals were scoped by the Menomonee Falls Department of Public Works after the April flood, it was apparent that there was I&I, inflow and infiltration, excess clear water in the main sanitary sewer system, and that it was their assumption that some residents on our street had their sump pumps hooked up directly to the main sanitary sewer drain in their basement. In our research, it is our understanding that there should be no I&I in the main sewer system whatsoever, and under Wisconsin State Law, Chapter SPS 382 of the Wisconsin Administrative Code, it is strictly illegal to hook up a sump pump to a sanitary sewer line. The impression was that those residents couldn't be asked how their sump pumps are hooked up or to change it because that would cause them financial responsibility. Yet, those of us who have been subjected to recurrent sewage floodings are left to just deal with it and continue to incur financial strain, mental and physical health decline, and damage. It was indicated that as the storm sewers have systematically been updated throughout the village, it was discovered that the vibration from the construction was damaging residents' individual laterals, and that at some point the village started repairing or replacing laterals to homes due to this discovery. Our storm sewers were replaced in 2018, and we were told that the sanitary sewer system was not worked on. If it was discovered that laterals were being damaged, why weren't ours revisited to repair them as well? Damaged sanitary sewer laterals could easily allow I&I to enter the main sanitary system and overwhelm it. It was also indicated that to prevent our homes from flooding with sewage again, we need each household to spend a minimum of $5,000 to hire a professional plumber and have a backflow preventer installed in our homes. That is a Band-Aid for a much larger issue that is not our doing, and if installed in one home, will just push the sewage down the line to the next home. Our ask, do you want to do the next one?
If your 3 minutes is up, So what are our asks? We would like a formal investigation into sump pump discharge compliance in our Arrowhead Range subdivision. We would like a door-to-door inspection by code enforcement officers, if you want to call it, during wet weather events, a written enforcement plan for sump pump violations, a timeline for evaluating stormwater capacity in our area, a public report of findings and next steps. We did notice that the Public Works Department came out last week, Thursday, June 11th, and then again on Friday the 12th. We'd like to know what was measured, how long is this going to be measured for, what it means, what the data is going to be used for. I personally had flooding in April. I had my plumber come out and not only clean the sewer drain, but I also had a company come out that jets the pipes to make sure that nothing's happening on my end, because when that sewer backed up, there was a lot of sludge that came back not only into my lines, but also into my home. So already I have $2,500 into my basement. I've been a member of this community my whole life. Went to school here. My family and my neighbors are extremely frustrated and exhausted. We're just asking the village to help us keep our homes and be able to stay in this community that we love. We have sought legal advice. We hopefully won't have to get that far, but we are prepared to take that step if need be. Also, I am a real estate agent, so I also know what this is going to be impacting the values of our properties in the area because of this. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you, Renee and Sarah. All right, then we will go on to committee and commission reports. We're going to allow Trustee Cotta to step out real quick. All right, item 7 is Plan Commission. Trustee Hayes.
Motion for the approval of a utility easement granted to the Wisconsin Electric Power Company over land owned by the Village of Menomonee Falls on subject lands identified by tax key numbers 105.997.003 and 105.997.004.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Purpose of the easement is construct, install, operate, maintain, repair, replace, extend underground utility facilities, conduit and cables, electric pad mounted transformers, manhole electric pad mounted switch fuse units, electric pad mounted vacuum fault, interrupter, concrete slabs, power pedestals, riser equipment terminals, and markers, together with all necessary and appurtenant equipment under and above ground as deemed necessary by the grantee, all to transmit electric energy signals, television, telecommunication services, including the customary growth and replacement thereof. Trees, bushes, branches, and roots may be trimmed or removed so as not to interfere with the grantee's use of the easement area. Any other discussion? This was a approved unanimously at the Plan Commission with the exception of Trustee Tata, who didn't vote. So I urge your support. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. 7A passes unanimously. We'll go on to 7B. Trustee Hayes.
Motion for the approval of a utility easement granted to the Wisconsin Electric Power Company over land owned by the Village of Menomonee Falls on subject lands at Village Park.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? All right. Pretty much the description that I gave for the last item is also the information for this item. It's just a different location. This is at Village Park. So any other discussion? All right. Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. 7B is unanimously approved. All right, well, welcome back, Trustee Tata. And we'll go on to item 8, which is the General Government Committee, and that is Trustee Tata.
I move to approve an operator's license for Janine Nguyen, subject to the condition that no additional criminal violations or convictions during the licensing period. The police department shall review the applicant's record every 6 months during the licensing period to determine compliance with this condition.
Second. We have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
Ms. Nguyen did a prayer before the General Government Committee and advocated well and provided all the information that was requested.
Very good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. 8A passes unanimously. We go on to 8B. Trustee Tata.
I move to approve a municipal court bail schedule for all non-traffic municipal ordinance violations.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, the main reason for the update is state law allowed the village to increase, looking at this here. Make sure I got this right. The maximum local court cost could be increased from $38 to $48. So every citation bail amount was increased by $10 to recoup that cost. And then there was also the new alarm permit fee or alarm no permit citation amount added to the schedule, along with some other minor modifications that they found as they were doing this update.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. 8B passes unanimously. Go on to item 9, which is Utilities and Public Works Committee. Trustee Kress.
I move for the approval of the award of contract for the centralized Public Works Facility Utility Addition Project Number 15037 to Level Up Construction, the total base bid amount of $3,134,940, along with alternate bid number 1 in the amount of $36,060, and the alternate bid number 2 in the amount of $318,350, for a total project cost of $3,489,350.
Second. A motion, second. Any discussion?
This is referring to the 2 small additions to the Public Works facility. There were 4 alternative bids, and we agreed upon 2 of them that were suggested. One is to provide new coiling overhead garage doors on one of the sides of the garages. Another alternate bid number 2 requires the installation of 2 steel garage mezzanines. This is similar to what's already in the actual facility now for on the other side. This is really to store all the materials that are necessary for utilities so that they don't have running back and forth when there could be an emergency. They'll still use the Margaret Road facility for larger items like a 16-inch water main, things that they don't need as often. And this is this was included with the 2026 capital budget. This is under budget, and it's also eligible for 100% water and sanitary sewer impact fees.
Excellent. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. 9A passes unanimously. Go on to 9B. Trustee Kress.
I move for the approval of the award of contract of the water main and sewer lateral replacement project in Jacobson Drive from Ann Avenue to Menomonee Avenue and Ann Avenue from Jacobson Drive to Hiawatha Avenue project numbers 72084 and 72102 to MJ Construction in the total base bid amount of $1,161,540.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, this project consists of replacing the water main with a new 8-inch water main, new laterals, new hydrants and valves on Jacobson Drive to Ann Avenue, and to Menomonee Avenue and Ann Avenue from Jacobson Drive to West. There's a lot of roads in the section, but they're all really connected. Also eligible is we're doing a canvassing of 24 residential homes on Jacobson Drive to participate in the sanitary sewer lateral replacement program. And this is where there'll be a full replacement into the home if they participate at no cost to them. Otherwise, it'll be replaced from the main to the lot line.
Very good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. 9B passes unanimously. We'll go on to 9C. Trustee Kress.
I move for the approval of a second revision to the state municipal agreement between the Wisconsin Department of Transportation, the village and the village for the reconstruction of Menomonee Avenue from Town Hall Road to Appleton Avenue, State Highway 175.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, with this one, this is, the federal government has, they've increased the amount of funds that they want to provide to the design portion of the project. And that amount is $78,228.48. So this is, this agreement is just to approve receiving the money from them.
Very good. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. 9C passes unanimously. Thank you. We'll go on to item 10, which is new business. Trustee Hayes.
Motion to approve the village president's appointments as follows. Appointment of Joel Whopper to the Board of Review to fill the seat vacated by Paul Porter, term to expire April of 2030. Appointment of Joel Whopper to the Zoning Board of Appeals to fill the seat vacated by Kathleen Boucher, term to expire April 2029.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? We want to thank Paul and Kathleen for your time on these boards, and thank you to Joel. These are some tough boards to find volunteers for, so having a resident that will serve on both is a great benefit to the village. So thank you, Joel. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. 10A passes unanimously. Go on to item 11.
Motion to adjourn?
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of adjournment, please say aye. Aye. All opposed, say nay. We are unanimously adjourned. Thank you for your time.